I agree with it being a very serious thing. But to bring in like the words holy sacrament.
It's all semantics. It's semantics at the end of the day. Okay, I'm not trying to sit here and preach to you. I just said, the holy sacrament to, emphasize the commitment aspect, emphasize the importance of it. So to get married to someone, you actually have to like vet them quite thoroughly. And for that to be done at 19 would be quite rare, especially considering how bad, in the United States and, not only that, but the West as a whole are.
So can we acknowledge how bad the men are as well?
I would actually agree with you, which you might find surprising. I would agree with you.
It's fair.
And I'd be curious to hear.
You seem logical, so that's why I'm saying.
I'd be curious to hear their takes on that. I think that men are, often as a society, like really not where they should be in terms of their physical fitness. If you look at how many people could actually do 10 push-ups in America, and it's like 10%. So, in terms of income. So would you guys agree with that? That men are not where they should be?
I mean, Definitely. We were saying that earlier when we were saying that men cannot sustain exactly what we want from them. That's why we need multiple men,
Exactly. But at least men can learn to understand and make it work.
But the chat saying women would never want to teach men.
Well, I mean, the point is, men are here when they should be here. Women are all the way down here. So that's the disparity, right?
Both parties need to work at each other.
That's crazy, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Talking about all the way down.
Yeah, that's wild.
And the mic so they can
She's
hear
my
you.
favorite. Auntie over here is my favorite. I like it.
Damn.
Go ahead, you were saying?
I said, what aspect makes all the way down?
I would say that the amount of partners
He's
on
talking about
average,
Western.
I would say that the percentage of women who are virgins at 18 being, I think, like only 40% is absolutely absurd of a statistic, because who's not a virgin to me is like almost a write-off entirely. So the fact that we're only looking, for 40% of the population already, to cut that pool so small right off the bat, just based on one.
That's assuming they're being honest too.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's assuming they're being honest. Are very deceptive about
you
that.
said 40%. That's high to me.
No, that
18?
sounds about right.
Yeah. No, I mean.
Well, I'm a high school teacher, so.
Well, you're also in a very degenerate area.
Kids start having like 10
I'm
or 12
a high school
now.
teacher. I've taught all over this county.
Right, but Florida as a whole.
Exactly, yeah.
So no, I would agree with you. But yeah, so that's a huge problem.
Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
Where am I?
Interesting.
North Jersey.
Yeah, I'm from Central Jersey, and I honestly disagree with the statistic of 40%. At 18.
You think it's less?
Sorry, closer to the mic. I'm sorry.
You think it's less?
I would think that it's less at 18 because 18 is post high school. I think in New Jersey people get bored.
She
and
agrees
that's
with
when
you. She
people
thinks
start,
that the self-reporting is inaccurate.
People they drink
So,
and they're bored and they go into your parents' basement and you get drunk.
No, obviously
I'm just being honest.
any
that's what New
self-report
Jersey is.
study is not entirely accurate, but we could assume it's somewhere in that ballpark.
What makes a woman's a man different at that age? Because if we're talking about statistics, a woman's brain is statistically 5 years ahead of a man's brain.
Morals.
That's no, I don't know about morals, but I'm just saying, like they say that a woman at 25.
They say who says in specifically in what way?
I don't know, but have you ever heard this before? I'm just asking.
We're not going to get into any neurosciences with someone who has no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, what she's saying is like, because there's this common trope that they say that I know what you're talking about.
Women are a few years.
They say
and I'm not disagreeing.
There's this common misconception. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's a common misconception that mature faster than men, right? I think that's a fallacy, and I'll explain why. What they really mean by that is that women get more social opportunities at a younger age, so therefore they become more socially calibrated than men. That's what they really mean, because men are dealing with the opposite gender from an earlier age, because older men typically tend to date younger women. So what ends up happening is you get a lot of opportunities for men, not just their age, but men older than them as well, become really good and rehearsed at dealing with the opposite gender, versus a guy that's 18 might not get a fraction of the opportunities that because with men we have to build our value up to even be able to get a seat at the table. So with I'll take it a step further. I don't think women actually start maturing until they buy their own drinks at the bar. I don't think women actually mature until they're 30.
You're absolutely correct.
Let me explain by this.
Yeah.
When a woman's 18 years old, right? It's like she's on God mode, right? She could do whatever she wants. People are inviting her. She's getting offers from the top men all over the place. Instagram, dating apps, etc. And with an interconnected world, it's even more presumed. The problem is that they get a high ego off of this, and they think that they're more attractive or they're market higher than where they really stand, and that kind of skews things. So what ends up happening is they don't come to reality and figure out where they stand in the dating marketplace until they're buying their own drinks, or until they get older where they don't have the same command on the dating marketplace. So I would argue are less mature than men, and they don't mature until they actually get older. This whole concept of like, oh, women mature faster than men. You guys don't mature fast. You guys just get experience with the opposite gender sooner, So therefore, you are forced to adapt and understand how to deal with men.
I completely
I feel
agree
like
with
those
you.
are the women that
Yeah.
didn't have a father in their life that you just described.
No, because some
I'm
of
sorry?
us do.
Those that you just described to me don't have a father.
Chris.
I disagree.
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
have a father,
I have
and
a
my
father,
dad's
too.
my dad's very present in my life.
Okay, so you're
And y'all act the
Paying
way
for my own
that
drinks
he's
my whole life.
describing.
what part are you like saying, like, what part do you
I always
disagree with
will.
about the
Because
father?
you're saying that they're not mature, they're not able to do.
No, what I'm arguing is that we don't get a reality check and actually start to care about what men want and actually start being, you know, a good girlfriend typically, or start to give a shit about what male wants until they get
about
older.
30.
Does
I
that make sense?
disagree because then like I'm 22.
See, but where's your father
but
to
then-
tell you?
Well, yeah,
And give you a
if
guide.
the father's in place, yeah, that can absolutely help it. Maybe she won't wake up at 30, she'll wake up at 21 or 22. But that implies that you have a father. A lot of women grow up in fatherless households. That implies that the father has the nuts to actually tell her what to look for.
Right.
So you have all these things that are kind of in the way.
If you enjoy my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to create clips like these fast, try Opus Clips. It's smart, simple, and built for creators.